What's going on, YouTube? Today's video is going to be what will probably be the final update for my HK417 assaulter project. So in the previous videos, you've seen me kind of collect all the parts and accessories for this rifle and go through several of the modifications needed to make a commercial MR762 from HK into something that resembles a military HK417 clone. In this case, a clone of the rifle that DevGuru uses. So I only have minor updates for this video, but they are very important updates. So I should be able to go through this relatively quickly, but first and foremost, I did manage to finally track down the adjustable gas block for this rifle. This is an OEM HK 2-position adjustable gas block, and it's made to work in conjunction with this handguard, which has a cutout that allows you to access the adjustment valve. So the only difference between this gas block and what would be issued on a military 417 is this one has a slightly updated gas valve. The original one only allows you to use a Allen key to switch it between S for suppressed mode and then N for normal or unsuppressed. But this one's updated, so it also has a slot cut into it that allows you to use a flathead. So I might try and source the original part at some point, since that's a lot more feasible than finding a whole other gas block. But honestly, beggars can't be choosers. I'm very glad to have this in my possession. And huge shout out to Tier 1 Outfitters. He was actually able to track down 2 of these gas blocks, and of course kept one for his own clone, but was gracious enough to offer me first dibs on the spare. So I can honestly say this is the hardest I've ever had to look for a clone part of any kind. It took me about 6 months from beginning to end, and that was 6 months of searching Gunbroker, eBay, HK Pro, various forums, searching daily and putting out want to buy ads just about everywhere imaginable looking for this gas block. But I have found it. I did go and confirm function earlier today at the range. Really quickly, I'll clip in a video here of me just firing my first few shots through the rifle with the gas block installed. I'll say the suppress setting works phenomenally. Obviously with the suppressor mounted and with it turned to the S setting, it is perfectly gassed. The action is not cycling really harshly like it was before. And overall, it's just a much more pleasant experience shooting the rifle with this gas block. Now, the unsuppressed or normal setting, the rifle is definitely still undergassed, and I'm actually not surprised by that. I found some dimensions online on HK Pro from another owner of one of these gas blocks who reported that his gas port sizes for the N setting, because this little silver adjustment piece actually has gas ports drilled into it, that's how it accomplishes regulating gas flow. But his ports on the N setting are actually a little larger than mine, so they allow more air to flow through, or more gases to flow through to cycle the action. For whatever reason, this version of the gas block that I got has slightly smaller ports on the N setting. On the S setting, the ports are exactly the same as that other user's gas block. So it works fine on the suppress setting, but it is undergassed on the N setting, and you'll see that in this video. The first 3 shots will be unsuppressed, and you'll see that I'm having to manually cycle the action between each shot. But then once I mount the suppressor and switch it to the S setting, the gun cycles just as it should. The ejection pattern is good. It's right at 3 to 4 o'clock, and it's cycling much more slowly and less harshly. So the other big update I have for this gun has to do with the accuracy. As you know from my last video, my initial findings with the accuracy for this gun were not necessarily what I expected. They're not what you would expect out of a high quality HK rifle. It was okay, but through a mixture of trial and error, trying different ammunition types, as well as addressing the crown on my barrel, which I believe also was a root problem, I have gotten the gun to shoot much more acceptably. So I'll clip in some photos here. I tried out a couple different loads today. They're the two loads that I've narrowed down, shoot the best in this gun. I tried the 178 grain Hornady 308. It's a boat tail hollow point. And that shot all right. It was consistently, it was between an inch and inch and a half. And then I tried 175 grain Lake City M118 LR, which is a military issue long range load, which shot around MOA or just below MOA pretty consistently. So I'm happy with those results. And like I said, I believe that the issue before came down to one of two things. One, the crown on my barrel, I believe, was just not that great. And that is not the fault of the original gunsmith who chopped it down. I did not give them enough direction with what I wanted. I ended up taking it to a different gunsmith after assuming that the crown might be the issue. And he was able to replicate what HK's factory crown would look like. It's more of a recessed crown. And he also added some more space between the back of the muzzle device and the shoulder, which allows the muzzle device to actually properly index off the face of the muzzle. As I've mentioned in previous videos, this muzzle device is not made to index off of the shoulder like on something like an AR-15. It actually indexes off the face of the muzzle inside the muzzle device. So between those two fixes, he also, while he had it on the lathe, he deepened this relief cut to make it more resemble a real 417 assaulter barrel. And then Sigwo Arms recoded it. But between those fixes, the gun is shooting accurately now. It is holding a consistent 0. It's not wandering like it was before. And I'm not seeing mediocre accuracy like it was before. So for anyone looking to embark on one of these projects, my biggest piece of advice is going to be run heavier ammo, because the gun still does not like lighter ammo. It doesn't like 150 grain or 155 grain. 168s shoot all right through it, but it really likes the 175s or 178 grain loads. So anyway, that is pretty much everything I have for you guys today. So if you have any questions on this build, feel free to drop them down in the comment section below. I will have this for everyone's viewing pleasure at Clone Shoot 2024, which is going to be hosted at the Ben Franklin Range in Pennsylvania. So actually me and at least a couple other people that have built these clones over the past few months are going to be bringing ours out. I know Tier 1 Outfitters is supposed to be bringing his out. Chris from Clone Rifles, who's hosting the event, is bringing his out. So it'll be a really cool opportunity to actually see multiple of these in different configurations, because we all sort of chose different clones or different service rifles or pictures of service rifles to base each individual clone off of. So I am planning on getting like a group photo of all of these rifles together at the Clone Shoot. But anyway, I think I've rambled on long enough. Thank you guys for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.